everyone, I'm Anushka. I'm the founder of Kathalyst. At Kathalyst, we're helping companies modernize legacy software. So, a lot of Fortune 500 companies have software running from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, mainly called mainframes. And we help them take that old software, convert it to 21st century software, and run it on cloud technology from today's age.
So it sounds like, you say that, all I can think of is that scene from Captain America where they're in the bunker and they got the bad guy, Zolar or whatever his name is running on tape. That's all I can think of when you said that right there. That's all that popped in my head.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. If you would, just describe a little bit about the problem you're trying to solve. I know it's legacy software, and a bunch of companies are running their Captain America bunker underground thing going on, their systems, which may simplify it a whole lot, probably is. But if you could just for the audience, define the problem you're trying to solve with Kathalyst.
Yes, absolutely. So basically, when software was hitting the business world, one of the most popular languages from that era was a language called COBOL, and it came out in like late 60s, 70s, 80s. It had a huge adoption. A lot of the critical software that was built back then. So you have to imagine, like, what were the first software systems built ever? So the banks were building their accounting, like transaction software. The credit card companies were building that transaction software. All the ACH transactions were built on that. The governments were building their databases on these old softwares, right? Like
the government's still using that.
Yes. Oh. Yep, absolutely. They are still using it. There's a whole lot of cautionary tape around, like, people should not be using it, but it's so hard to move out of these systems because, you cannot have any downtime. You cannot have any risk involved. You cannot have, you can't shut down a bank transaction system for 8 hours a day. That's going to ruin the bank. So it's, that's where you need better software, you need a better system to move those old legacy applications to cloud. You have to run it in parallel. You have to, keep the old system alive while you're building the new system, and manage that network and transactions and things like that, which is not an easy task to do. And with the level of COBOL that is out there, recent estimates say that there are around 800 billion lines of COBOL still running. And the critical problem is there are only 2 million COBOL developers left in the world. And that number is decreasing by 10% every year. All these COBOL developers are of an older age, closer to retirement age. And that's the biggest pinpoint, because if you still had people who knew the technology, you could maintain the technology that was built. It's a very strong, it's the technology has held up all these years, right? There's nothing wrong essentially with that. The problem is you don't have the human beings anymore. You can't, the new age developers, people who are coming out of college are not learning COBOL. And none of them want to learn COBOL. Nobody wants to go into legacy software and, because there's no career trajectory there. So it's that's creating more of a problem for these companies, where they have the system, but they know they're going to, if they have people for it today, they know they won't have people for it in 5 years and 10 years. So they need to start thinking long term about okay, what do we do